Hi there, and welcome back to my continuing series on greatest common factor. So this is part 2. I'm working off this sheet. You might have it. Guarantee it's on Brightspace if you want to get a copy of it. What I'm challenging you to do this time is write down those numbers. I feel like I should call them out like a bingo caller. Under the B7. Sorry. I'll leave it alone. I Googled Dead Dog Cafe and B8. It's a comedy thing. Those are the questions we're going to do. What if y'all just write down those numbers, which you might have already, and pause the video and try it. See how far you can get. They're getting a little wild and crazy by the time we're getting up into the 50s, but it's kind of fun. And you know what? If you follow the prime factorization, like treeing it out, it'll work every time. You could have like a stupid, stinky long question with 10 terms and a whole bunch of variables, and it'll still work, which I think is really cool. That's really the power of the prime factorization. We established in the last video. It takes a while. I figured out how to make it look a little prettier on my page, but it works. So as you get better at it, you might get to the point where you do it different, which I'm going to show you in the next video. Hint, hint, hint. Do you want to watch the next one? And then say prime factorization for when you look at it and go, I got nothing. I don't even know where to start on this. If you don't know where to start, where you're going to start is prime factorization. All right. Sorry. It's my holidays. I'm a little cheeky. Number 7 says 56a minus 48 a to the 5th. All right. Well, let's do this. So 56. Don't judge me. 7. 56 divided by 7. Yeah, it's 7 times 8. I don't know. It's the one thing I never remember. 7 times 8. Now I know 7 is prime, so that's done. And this is 4 and 2. So 7 and 2 and 2 and 2. I'm going to put it in numerical order, ascending order. So I have my 2's at the front. So it's 3 2's and 7. Now I need to do 48. And I'm going to do 6 times 8. The one thing I've learned about this is the closer the numbers are together that you use to factor, the less steps it's going to be. I know I can do 2 and 24, but I'm pretty sure with 6 and 8, I'm going to do less steps. Just a little tip. 3 times 2, 4 times 2, 3, 2, 2, and I need another 2 from there, and then this guy. There we go. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 2's. 1, 2, 3, 4 2's, and 3. Now it's bugging me. Hold on. 48, 2, and 24. I'm going to see how long if I just keep going. Well, it's an even number. I know I can divide by 2. 2 and 12. So bring down my 2, bring down my 2. 6 and 2. Oh, sorry, let's make it the same. 2 and 6. 2, 2, 2, 2, and 3. So that took 1, 2, 3 to get my answer, and this took 1, 2, 3, 4 to get. Okay, it was 1 extra line. I thought it would be more. So it makes no difference. Whatever spins your pin, do it. Prime factor, whatever numbers work for you. All right, so now 56a is going to be 2, 2, 2, 7, and then an a, and then 48 a to the 5th. Oh, minus. Don't lose your sign. I figured out in the last video, I actually do want to bring them with me. So minus. Now for 48, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 2's, and then a 3, And then I need 5 8s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So those are my prime factors. And if I got confused, 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 56. Right, you can always multiply through those lines. Highlighter time. What do we highlight? Common factors. So 1, 2, 3. That's it for numbers. And it got a little googly, but you can do that. So my greatest common factor is 2 times 2 times 2. I'll write it out. Times 2, and then an A. So that's going to give me 8A. So that goes up here, and it's what I'm going to divide by. As I said at the beginning of the last video, I never choose to divide by negatives. There'll always be positive numbers in there. That way my signs stay the same. So much simpler. So 56 divided by 8 is 7, and the A's are going to cancel. Minus 48 divided by 8 is 6, and then 5 minus 1 is 4. Put brackets around that. That's our leftovers, and then our greatest common factor goes up front, and then I'm going to cheat. No, I'm going to check. Don't say cheat. Not cheating. I'm being smart. So leftover, 2 times 3, check. 1, 2, 3, 4. Golden. And there we go. Something to look forward to. You can look forward to stuff in factoring is when you're really good at it. This doesn't happen. You can look at this and go 56 and 48. And if you know your multiplication table really well, you'll know that 8 divides into both of them. And then you go straight to there. So practice, practice, practice at this, and practice, practice, practice your multiplication table. It will make your life easier. All right, let's try 11. Minus 10A. Oh, this is easier. Plus 70. I bet you can look at that. I'll do this. And tell me what the common factor is already. But I'm going to prove it. On a test, if I say, show me all the work, I would probably say, use prime factorization to factor this out. So there might be questions where I specifically want to see all this work. But if I just say, find the greatest common factor, or factor using greatest common factoring, whatever, you probably can at some point get away with just the answer. And I hope the answer was 10. But let's prove it. So when you do the prime factorization, oh, I didn't even say it up here. Just ignore the negative. Don't care. 2 and 5 and 70 is 7 and 10 and 7 and 2 and 5. So I'm going to make that 2, 5, 7. Put them in order. Minus 10A is going to be a minus, and then my 2 and the 5, and then the A, and then plus 70 is going to be 2 times 5 times 7, and there is no variable, so we are golden. Whoops, move that up a little bit so you can see better. So handy dandy highlighter. There's our common factors. Quick check. Yeah, those aren't the same, so we're good. So my greatest common factor is 2 times 5. It's going to be 10. Which you and I for sure probably knew back here that the greatest common factor was going to be 10. So divide this by 10, divide this by 10. Let me get, oh, careful. Negative 10 divided by 10 is going to be -1, a plus 7. And the 10 goes out there, and we're good. Now we're going to do our leftover check. A -1 and, sorry, a negative and an A, check, check. And a 7, yep, 10 out front. The other thing I have been saying is, because we're always taking a positive number out, matchy-matchyville. Negative, positive, your signs don't change. It's just so much simpler. Okie dokie, that's 2. Now, let's try 15. At any point, if you're feeling confident and you're liking this stuff, then do it on your own. It's only going to make you better. I'm hoping for all of you to get to the point where you're not really watching all the videos, you're just fast forwarding to the one question you can't do. So 15 is 9x cubed plus 9x. Okay. Why not guess? What do you think the common factor is? Let's find out. But I hope you guessed. So 9. That's 3 times 3. You don't have to do it twice. So 9x to the third is going to be 3 times 3 times x times x times x. And then we have 9x, which is going to be 3 times 3 times x. Highlighter time. Let's find our common factors, a 3 and a 3 and an x. There's common factor. It's going to be 3 times 3 times x, 9x. So number 1, yes, one of the parts of the question can be the greatest common factor. That's not an issue. Secondly, did you get 9x? I hope you at least got 9, because that one's straightforward. I mean, it's the only number that's there. But let's finish it off properly, because sometimes it's the simple ones. It just seems so weird. It's like you get there and like, that doesn't look right. 9x, 9x. So 9 divided by 9, I'm going to put the 1 just to keep everything all nice and neat. 3x, sorry, x to the third divided by x is going to be x squared. Plus 9 divided by 9. What's the rule? Remember from division? It's not 0. It's 1. 9 divided by 9 is 1. X divided by x is actually 1. So anything divided by itself is 1. And I need the 9x out front. Excuse me. And it's just, questions kind of weirded me out. It just, I don't know. It seems bizarre. So that's when I check. So 9 times 1 is 9. X times x squared is x cubed. 9x times 1. There we go. We got back to where we started. So we know we're fine. We know we factored it. Oh, and there was like no other common factors in there. I was going to say something else, but it went away. No, it'll come back. All right, what's the next question I said I was going to do? 24. Oh, 3x 6 y 3 plus xy. Ooh, that looks cool. Make anybody feel uncomfortable? If you want, you put a 1 there. I don't know that it gets us anywhere, but you can if it makes you happier. So if we go to tree out our numbers, we got 3. We're starting prime. And 1, which you can just ignore. So I'm going to go right to this step. There's nothing to tree out. Y3 It's going to give me 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 x's. 1, 2, 3. And 1 xy is going to give me an x. And I'm going to make it pretty. No, it's going to look weird. I'll put it there. I was going to put it way over there, but then it would look odd. So I have x's that are common. And I have a y that's common. So my greatest common factor is xy. That's the cool part about doing the trade out using prime factorization to do this. It doesn't matter if things start to get weird and you have 2 variables or 3 variables, or you have a whole bunch of numbers, whatever, you still do the same process. Some of these other ones. So divide by xy, divide by xy. So I'm going to 3 divided by, well, if you want to put a 1 there, if it makes you happy, go for it. 3 divided by 1 is still 3. X to the 6 divided by x is going to be x5. Y cubed divided by y is y squared. Plus, bring my sign along. Just like the previous question, something divided exactly by the same thing is 1. There, you definitely need the 1. And then xy up front. Now I remember what I was going to say in the last question is there were 2 terms here, 2 terms here. So when you're doing greatest common factor, you're always going to have the same number of terms as you started with. Because I tell you a secret. Most common mistake people do is they'll lose that part. They'll lose the back part. But without that, you can't get back to this part. You can't get back to this one because it's got 2 terms. You need to be able to distribute twice. So do not be afraid by multiple letters. You got this. Oh, that's like 28. That's fun. I'm not kidding. It looks awful, but that's okay. We have to do the awful ones too. N squared P3M plus 5 N P4. Okay. So 4 is an easy one. 2 and 2. And 5's prime. So I'm just going to put prime underneath. So it doesn't look blank. Okay. So let's do it. 4 N squared P3M is 2 times 2. And then we have N and 3 P's. And then the M. That's weird. I copied it right off the sheet. I don't like the fact that the M's at the back. I like them in alphabetical order. It doesn't matter. 5 N P4. So 5 is prime. My N and 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I left a little gap so the ends would line up pretty. Ah! There's no numbers that are matchy-matchy, but I can match that one, and that one. So my greatest common factor is N. Well, I'll do it the right way. 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3 P's or NP3. All right. NP3. NP3. So leftovers. 4. And then N squared divided by N is going to give me N. And P cubed divided by P cubed, that just disappeared. It goes to 1, but basically I don't have to worry about it. And then the M plus, now we've got 5. N divided by N, that disappears. P4 divided by P3 is going to give me P. And then I'm going to go NP3. Now let's check. There's my 2's. There's the N. There's M. And 5P. Yeah. Cool. I didn't like that because we get to be too many variables, I think. How much did I promise to do on this one? Oh my goodness, look at that. I'm on 28. Static key. Let's try 41. It looked interesting when I looked before. Ooh, look at that. So this is a good one. 24x squared minus 12x plus 27. So don't be freaked out because there's 3 numbers. It's a trinomial. Whatever. Process is still exactly the same, except instead of having to tree out 2 numbers, you got to tree out 3. So 24, 6 and 4, 2 and 3, and 2 and 2. I would also think that it's getting to the point where some of these numbers we keep reusing, the train out part should be pretty straightforward. 12 is 3 times 4, 3, 2, and 2, and 27 is 3 times 9, is 3, 2, 3. Okay, before we do anything, 1, 2. I want to arrange these. It just makes my life easier. Okay, so put them in numerical order like that. And now I'm going to line them up just like I did before. So 24x squared is equal to 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 times x minus 12x is equal to minus, well, the 12 is 2 times 2 times 3, and then an x. And the 27, ooh, 27 didn't get any x's at all, is 3 times 3 times 3. Okay, that got a little bit on the messy side. The trick here is you have to find a factor that is common to all 3. The fact that there's some 2's here and here is irrelevant. It doesn't matter because it's not here. It has to be in everything. So when I look at that, the only thing I'm seeing that's in all 3 is the 3. That is my greatest common factor. The 2's, sorry, 2's don't count because they're not down here. And the x's don't count because they're not down here. That 27 just messed everything up. Okay. So there's common factor. A lot of work for it just to be 3. 3, 3, 3. So 24 divided by 3 is 8x squared minus 12 divided by 3 is 4x plus 9. Close my brackets, put a 3 out there, and let's double check. 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. And there's my x squared. There's my negative, my x, and there's my 9. And because there's a negative in there, positive, negative, matchy, matchy, matchy. Ta-da! See, it works with longer ones. It's same stuff, same stuff. You just, like I said, I think 6 times already now. If there are 3 terms, whatever you're picking has to be in all 3, not just 2 of the 3. All right, 42. Minus 90 x to the 9 plus 100 x3 minus 60 squared. Okay, before I do this, 'cause it looks like it's going to be work. Think about it. What do you think is the common factor? I see 90, 160. I'm thinking 10 is a good place to start, which I'm sure you're okay with. But what's the deal with the variables? I think there's a pattern. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Let's go back to here. So we had a and a to the fifth. A was our common factor. Oh, we only had an a there. So can't talk about that one. Here, we had x to the 3 and x came out as our common factor. X and y is our common factor. I'm thinking there's a pattern here. It's there. That one's just complicated. How many x's? What's the minimum amount that all of them have? Dos. I'd say that in something besides Spanish, but that's all that came to mind right now. Yeah, I'm guessing here that this is going to be our common factor for variables. Because, okay, I'm imagining in my head, this has got 9 x's, this has got 3 x's, this has got 2 x's. So when I go to color stuff in, I'm only going to be able to do 2. Because after 2 are gone, it's not going to be common to all 3. But I don't trust myself. And let's find out. 90. Feel free to pause the video. You should pause the video if you haven't done these already. Because watching me do them, although it might be slightly entertaining, is not nearly as good as you trying them. Even if you only get partway done. Because if you just sit and watch, the day that you hit an exam, it's going to be tough because you're just going to panic. You didn't even know, you didn't get into the, how do I even start this? So please, 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 please practice. 160. All right, 9 times 10. So 3 times 3 times 2 times 5. And 100 was 10 times 10. 10's looking, whoopsies, don't put that in there. 10's looking like a really good common factor here. 2 times 5. 5. And 60 is 6 times 10. 2 times 3. 2 times 5. Messy, messy, messy. 2, 3, 3, and 5. 2, 2, 5, 5. 2, 2, 3. Okay, I'm in order. It'll just save you part marks when you miss something because it's not lined up properly for you. So negative 90 x 9 is negative. I'll bring my negative down. 2, 3, 3, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There we go. And then we have 100 x3. So 2, 2, 5, 5, and we need 3 x's. X times x times x gives me x cubed. And then minus 60 x squared. 2, 2, and 3, 5, and then xx. All right. Oh, oh, oh. What'd I miss? What'd I lose? Yeah, I lost my negative there. Okay, so can't count my negatives because they're not in everything. But I can get a 2 there. I can't use the 3s because they're nowhere else. And I can use 1, 5, right? Even though I got like a 3 here and a 3 here, no, it doesn't work. Oh, I forgot. I've got X and an X. Woohoo! I think before I talked about it, I said I think it was going to be X squared. So score, looking good. Greatest common factor. Factor, not whatever I was drawing there, is 2 times 5 times X. There we go. And no, I don't know why after all these questions, my brain decided I need to put the brackets in there. You don't need to do that. There we go. Although it's not wrong and it looks pretty. So 10x squared. Back to our question. 10x squared. 10x squared. So again, we're taking out the common part, and then later on, the leftovers we might be able to do something with. Not these ones, but there'll be questions where you can just keep factoring once you have those skills. So negative 9 x to the 7 plus 10 x minus, nope, yep, and 10x squared out front. Now I'm going to do check. So the negative, there's my 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, check. And I should have 10, so 2 times 5, and an x, and a negative. There's my 6, and the x's are all done. Ta-da! QL. How many more questions did I say I was doing on this one? 2 more. I want to do 50 and 54. So let's see what those look like. Three x to the 4th plus 5x cubed plus 4x. Oh, you hardly even need me to do this one. If you haven't, turn the camera off. I know you can do this by yourself. All right, let's take a look at it. Because I want to get good at this predicting, because as lovely as, whoopsies, as this is, it's not fast. It's not fast. So even if we can predict and then prove, we're making progress. Okay, get rid of that. So I got 3, and I got 5, and I got 4. There's not going to be a common factor because this is prime and this is prime. So right there, it's not going to work. So, but I want my notes to look pretty in case somebody sees them. Well, never mind. People are going to see them on the video on Brightspace. So 3 is prime, 5 is prime. Can't do anything. 4, woohoo! 2 times 2. So 3x to the 4th is equal to 3, 2, 3, 4 times. We're multiplying. Now 5x cubed is, oopsies, I forgot to ask what you think it is. We talked about the numbers. What about variables? I think so. Let's see. So 5x to, there's 3 of them cubed, and 4x squared is going to give me 2 times 2 times x times x. Okay, common factors. Yep. Gone. Now, in case anybody's worried, why did I pick those ones and not these? Because it lined up pretty. I could have picked this one. Like that. I just didn't think it looked as aesthetically pleasing. Because it's multiplication, so order doesn't matter that much. Actually, That's wrong. Order doesn't matter at all. So whether, never mind. You know what I mean. So my greatest common factor is x times x squared, which I hope is what you already said. Are you seeing the pattern? Are you seeing the pattern yet? I'll give you a hint. I was going to tell you what the pattern is. Whatever the lowest exponent is going to be the variable part of your greatest common factor, as long as that letter is in alphabets. That will be revealed and emphasized in the next video. X squared, squared. So 3x2 subtracting plus 5x plus 4. Put my brackets around it, bring my greatest common factor out front. So I finally got one, and I think that's why I picked this question, where it's just a variable. So you can have a number, a variable, or both out in front, or nothing. All right, let's see how am I doing. 3, there's my x squared, there's the 5x, and there's the 4, and these are all positive, so it's all positive. Almost done. Oh, look at that one. Last one. I love my software because it said, how many terms do you want? And I said, 4. And that's how we got this. 30 and to the 4th plus 15 and squared minus 6 and minus 30. Okay. It doesn't matter. We're still going to do it exactly the same way. So 30, 15, and 6. I'm not doing 30 twice because it's going to trio out the same way. 3 times 10, 3, 2 times 5, 3 times 5. Oh, I forgot to tell you to predict. What do you think? To me, it looks like 3 should divide into everything just before finishing this. And, ooh, I don't think we're going to have a variable as our common factor because there's no n back here. So there's no way that n can be a common factor. 3 times 2. Okay, so 30 and 4th. It's, oops, I'm going to rearrange them as I write them down here. 2 times 3 times 5 times n times n times n times n. 15 n squared. 3 times 5 times n times n. Minus 6n is going to be minus 3 times 2 times n. And minus 30 is going to be minus, do the 30 again, 2 times 3 times 5, and no n's at all. So what do you got? What is, whoopsies, is the greatest common factor? The only thing, this one that didn't line up pretty for me, but I see the common factor is 3. We can't use n's because there's no n down here. So that throws all of those out. There's no 2 over there. And there's a 5 and a 5, but there's no 5 there. So after all of that work, greatest common factor is 3. Ta-da! All right, here we go. 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. Oopsie. It doesn't matter. I usually do that at the end, but it doesn't matter. 10 n to the 4th plus, whoopsies, 15 divided by 3. Make that work. N squared minus 6 divided by 3 is 2n. minus 10. All right, let's see. There's 2 and a 5, and 1, 2, 3, 4 ends, check. And a 5 n squared, check. And negative 2n, check. And negative 10. Ta-da! Ooh, I like adding those negatives in. I've done that before. I've formatted this like this before. I'm very pleased with myself right now. And what else can we do? Got my greatest common factor out front. I got 1, 2, 3, 4 terms. I got 1, 2, 3, 4 terms. And my signs are matchy-matchy. So it's golden. All right, QL. The treeing it out, the prime factorization method, doing it like this will work all the time. I'm not doing it today because this video's gotten long, but see that one there? We could do that using prime factorization, or this one, or any of these ones that look big and scary and long because they have lots of variables and numbers. It will work every single time. If I have 4 terms, whatever my common factor has to be in all 4. If there's 3 terms, it's in all 3. That's the part about it being common. Has to be in everything. All right. Thank you for joining me for this cool video. Have a lovely afternoon, evening, life. And I figured out how to turn this off. Bye.